Hey, I'm Nick. So I want to give you a quick introduction on some bug out bag concepts. So automotive. A lot of people don't even have an automotive bag. Now, some people who have just a generic one, you might have a bottle of water, you might have some matches or something, but there's a lot more that I think you should consider when it comes to your car go bag. First, lighting. Now, you want the lighting on the outside because if it's dark, you're not going to be able to go through your bag and find your light. So I have two different types. 2 is one is none. You want redundancy. One thing will probably fail you. If it doesn't, then you got a backup, something you can loan out to somebody else. Everything is rechargeable, always rechargeable. You are in no better position if you have batteries that are dead and no ability to charge them. So if your car has the ability to start, you have the ability to recharge your devices, which you should do, maybe once every 6 months, whenever you think about it. And the way I design these bags, they're not just junk little cheap products. These are products that you could use when you go camping, when you travel. You probably will be using these items a lot. Just be careful not to poach them. In other words, don't take the items out and use them on a trip and forget to put them back, where this is the most important thing, to have them in your kit ready to go. So USB light, pen light. You also want a headlamp because you want both your hands free, not just one of them. Headlamps, I swear by, water resistant, pretty much waterproof, has safety whistle, has spot, has flood, has SOS flash, but you want to be able to have your hands as your main tools, not just one hand, and not use your iPhone because that, for numerous reasons, is going to fail you. This little clip here is taking advantage of the mole webbing, so you can clip things on the side. I keep the headlamp there so it's always ready to go. Now, inside is a surprising amount of products that you might not have even thought of carrying. And also, the reason why I like this bag is you can hang this behind your headrest, so it's always ready to go. You just take your headrest out, put it in, and this hangs on the back. And now you have your kit ready to go. Let me show you a couple things that are in here. I'm not going to go through everything, but just some things you might not have thought of. So this is a fire blanket. It can be used to suffocate a small fire, electrical fire. If you get to your engine early enough, you could possibly suffocate with this, but the other thing is it can be used to protect you or a child from severe burns. So let's say you come across an accident scene, the car's on fire, you want to help somebody who's in the car. You can use this to protect yourself or to put out the fire or to shield the person or the child that you're, in other words, it's a protective fire blanket. That's something that I would recommend you keep in your house. It's also something that I keep in my fire kit. So the fire kit is to start a fire. It has multiple different ways of starting a fire. Electronic, standard, waterproof matches. It also has multiple ways to suffocate a fire and to deal with the aftermath of a fire. So if you have severe burns, it has a burn kit with that. That's a fire kit that's sold separately. Now, I think everybody should have one of these. This is a portable jump starter. It's also a USB charger, but its foremost purpose is to get you out of a dead battery situation when there are no other cars available. And even if there are, this is a safer way to jumpstart your car. You don't need another car. You don't need to worry about jumper cables, which can damage the electrical system in your car, the other car, or both cars. And it also is USB power bank. You can recharge it using a USB cable, which you include. So whenever you think of it, every 6 months or so, and you're probably going to be using this more often than that. So just make sure this thing stays at least 75% charged, and you will have the ability to not just jumpstart your car, but when you see the telltale sign in a parking lot, someone with their hood up, looking frustrated, car won't start, come over, give them a jump, they will be very grateful. I've used this thing at least 20 times over the past few years, and it's always a game changer. If someone's having a terrible day, you send them on their way, and they are extremely grateful, and it feels great to be able to help them out when, in several cases, they couldn't even get tow service because there was no cell signal. It just recognized the sign of a hood up, they needed help. This is a USB power bank, and it's also solar recharge capable, so you can fast charge it. Uses USB-C. It's also a USB-C power bank. Solar panel on the top, you know, it's a slow charge with a solar panel. It's a small solar panel, but my solar kit for charging kit has a 60-watt panel, and that would be at the charging kit. That would charge all your devices. But this, you can just top off on your car, you know, from the 12-volt adapter. Easy to keep this thing charged. It has a wireless charger, 10 watts, which is fast wireless charging for most phones. It has a light built in, and you know, that's pretty handy. You can put it on the ground when you need extra light. And it's also just additional backup power for all those devices that you'll need. And one of the things that you might not think of, you might not even know it exists, is this thing. It's a Garmin Inreach Mini. Now, this is designed for backcountry hiking, camping, you know, extreme adventures where there's no cell signal. The reason I recommend this for an automotive kit is it will save your life if you are in a terrible accident and you need emergency help and you don't have cell signal. So it's not something that I sell in the basic kit, but it's an option for the deluxe kit. And it does require a subscription, a monthly subscription, because it has a central dispatch center, GEOS, G-E-O-S, you can look that up. The subscriptions start at $13 a month. This is October 2020, it's current for that. And it allows you to have two-way text messaging as well. You don't need to use that if you never need it, but you can send a text message to a loved one when there's no cell signal to let them know you're okay, or let them know you're not okay, and what has happened. You can connect this to your phone using Bluetooth, so when there's no cell signal, you can still text message, you can read your messages. But the main feature of this thing is this SOS button. And if you remove the cover and press that button, it will dispatch emergency help anywhere in the country through a central database. They will know your location based on this, and they will be able to dispatch help to your location even when you're far remote, something happened, or your cell phone was crushed. This is pretty durable, totally waterproof, and it gives you a fighting second chance if your phone is down, if the cell signals are down, if there's a natural disaster, if the towers are down. You get to bypass all of that. And if your other family members have these with them, either in their cars or if they're kids in their backpacks, when the emergency really hits the fan and there is no cell signal, whether it's a natural disaster, man-made disaster, you can communicate with your family members using one of these. So something to consider. You might not have even known these exist. But now you want to be able to keep warm if you have to spend the night in your car, and if you are in a stranded situation, your safest bet is to stay in your car, especially if it's on the main thoroughfare, rather than just wander and look for help. So if you're spending the night in your car, you're going to get cold. If it's in most conditions, it's going to get a lot colder at night. You might not be able to run your engine to heat yourself, so you only have a limited amount of space. But this is an emergency blanket. It will reflect 90% of your body heat back in. This is a beanie, keep your heat loss minimized to your head. Very thick boot socks. You also want to have a dry change of socks. That's something that can go bad pretty quickly when your feet are wet and it's cold, and you're going to get some problems with that. So those three things can save your life, especially the reflective blanket. If you don't have the reflective blanket, contractor bags can be used in a pinch. Put them over your head, cut out the holes for your arms and your head. That can preserve a lot of body heat. Now, water. Those who do store water in their car often use just the standard Aquafina water bottles, which will work, but they will expire. And you'd be surprised how short of a shelf life some of those have. So I do stock one, and this is why I like this bag. This is a deluxe bag. You can see how it folds out. There's a ton of storage. So that's not exciting, but this is. This is a very specialized brand of water. It has a 20-year shelf life. It's triple sealed, bacteria free. One of the risks with one of these is that bacteria will get in. You just have a pretty minimal seal on here, and I wouldn't trust it for a long term. So once you've used up this water, you want something that is replenishable, similar to USB batteries, like USB, rechargeable batteries. Well, I don't just stock a bunch of batteries. Everything's rechargeable, renewable, regenerable. You can regenerate your water, regenerate your power. So this is a life straw, and you can find a questionable water source. And in a natural disaster, even the standard water sources might be compromised. So you can, for example, go to the back of a toilet at a gas station. The water that's not in the bowl, but in the back reservoir, theoretically filter the water out of a stream, out of a creek, out of any water source you come across, as long as it's not seawater or pool water. Come down, drink directly out of it. This is a straw. You just drink out of that water source, and that gives you a fighting chance once you've consumed your consumables. I also include water purification because it goes the rule of threes. 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. You need to have water right after air. So just because things have always been good doesn't mean they'll always be good, and it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. It's why I tend to default to thinking things will be bad and hope that I'm wrong, rather than be Pollyannish and just think things will be fine, I'll be taken care of, and be wrong. First aid kit and quick clot. So in here you have Band-Aids, there's a list of items in the back. Quick clot is for severe bleeding. It's kaolin impregnated gauze. They figured out in the military that this can really expedite your body's natural clotting ability, and it doesn't burn you like the powder used to that they use in the military. They don't use that anymore. These are something that you only would have realized the importance of in 2020 when toilet paper was hard, if not impossible, to find for the first few weeks. These are compressed towels that can be used for toilet paper. They expand into a cloth once they get wet, and they can also be used for wound care. They're sealed. They're not marketed as sterile, but I would assume they are. And they can be used for a multitude of purposes without having to carry bulky towels, without having to carry rolls of toilet paper that'll get wet. This will help you when you need it, when you need to go. And here, and the great thing about this bag is everything is just segmented, organized. So here is a USB cable. It's 4 in 1. So you use your solar powered recharger or your jump starter, and now you can charge 4 devices in one with one cable. And a lighter. So I include matches in the basic kit. This is an add-on. This is a plasma arc ladder. Like, the reason I like this is watertight and there's nothing to burn out, and it's USB rechargeable, so I can light something on fire with this and simply recharge it using a USB port right here in the bottom. It stays watertight. Never have to worry about running out of butane or the wick or anything that can go wrong with the standard lighter. And it's windproof, can't blow out. So, electrical tape, multitude of uses, not just for repairs. And this is something you might want to consider putting in your keychain. This is mace, pepper spray. Just be careful of that, because if you use it, it'll probably go in your eyes as well, especially if you're downwind. I've been sprayed twice, not because I was an assailant, but from the Navy. You can fight through it. That was kind of the point of the exercise, to realize that we can fight through it if we're sprayed, and the people we're using it against can fight through it. It's extremely uncomfortable. The water will reactivate it, so there's really no shortcut to get it out of your eyes. But milk doesn't work. You just have to leave your eyes to get normal again. You have to keep blinking. The air seems to be, the best strategy. Baby shampoo does work as well, but it's gonna hurt. Survival guide, survival kit. While you're bored, you can learn how to save yourself, but I would recommend, reading this before the disaster hits. All kinds of first aid for camping, emergency. Very useful information, so I include this. And then this is an emergency tool, so it has a seatbelt cutter. Seatbelts can get stuck, get locked, get jammed, and if you're taking on water or you need to get someone out of the car quickly, they're about to catch on fire, this will swipe open the seatbelt. It's a safe way to keep the knife. And then the other cool thing is it's a glass breaker, and it's very safe. So recessed in here is the glass breaker tool. So all you do is push down. Let's say this is the glass. You push down, and then it pops, and it shatters the glass. And that's a very safe tool. This is your instructions for it. So glass breaker tool and a seatbelt cutter, two things that can literally save your life or someone else's life if they're taking on water, if you need to get them out immediately. And right after air, water comes food. You need to have the ability to have some calories. Now, one reason why I try to stay sort of keto as much as I can is I want to train my body to be fat adapted. Fat is always a better energy source than carbs, but most people are not, and some people cannot be. So some people will go into glycemic shock. They'll have insulin if they have low insulin, low blood sugar. Honey is a great way to get their blood sugar back up. Honey will last. It has antimicrobial properties, a multitude of uses beyond just eating it. For the food, I recommend these long shelf life food options. They have a 20-year shelf life, so it's probably going to outlast your car. And you don't have to worry about it getting wet. It's totally watertight. It takes up a fraction of the space that normal canned food would. And all you need to do is add water to it. If you can heat the water, that's even better, but it's not required. And can of sardines just in case. These things will last beyond their expiration date. It just might taste a little weird, but it should be safe. As long as they're kept without outside of extreme temperatures, cans should be fine. And don't stock any canned foods that require a can opener. It's one reason why I like the prepackaged freeze-dried foods. This is a multi-spoon, fork, knife, spork, so you can eat your meal. Don't get excited, Ned. It's not for you. And then this is an emergency flasher. So if you're on the side of the road, you want to be able to signal to other drivers that you're out there. It has multiple different flashes. And this is also magnetic. It also has a hook, so it gives you a lot of different mounting options to keep you safe. But if you're stranded around a blind corner and you have a flat tire and you're trying to change it, this is something you want to put before that turn. So cars coming around can see you. I don't know if this is magnetic. Oh yeah, there it is. So you can put it on the side of your vehicle, but you want to be able to signal to other drivers. And another advantage about having a backup light is you could use that to point to oncoming traffic, so they at least see that there's something up ahead, and they won't know what it is, but they'll probably know to slow down. Hand sanitizer goes without saying. Waterproof meshes in a waterproof container with fire starter. So 2 is 1, 1 is none. This will last you a lot longer. This is expendable. Use this first. If that fails you, you have a backup option to be able to light a fire, whatever the reason. Now, I don't think having a notepad is that imperative, but this is an extreme notepad. Is what it's called. It's waterproof. You can leave a note on your car, whether it's a note for someone who's lost, and let them know that you went out to look for them. You'll meet them here in 2 hours. So when they come back to the car, they see the note, so they don't go out looking for you. They just stay put. If just think of the reasons why you would need to leave a note for passersby or someone in your party or Good Samaritan. And that's why I include permanent pen, waterproof pen. So that is basically it for the automotive kit. And if you are interested in one of these, please get in touch with me. I can give you prices for 2 different options, and I take care of testing all these products. I'm always finding better ways to accomplish what I think the main priorities are, and I hope you can be inspired by what I have here. Build your own, or let me build one for you. Happy to do it. I enjoy doing this stuff, and Ned gives his stamp of approval. Does that work? Do you? Want pizza now? Okay, let's go have pizza. All right, thanks for watching.